My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Geminis. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing your general reading, your past, present, future, and 9 card spread. I'm going to be using the regular tarot deck, clarify with the vampire deck, draw a special vampire card, draw a vampire oracle, and finish off with 3 yes or no answers for thee. So let's get started with your reading. The general card is the 6 of Wands. Let's look at the first row, which is also your past. No, you get the 3 of Swords, one of the cards I pulled for the vampire. And then you get the 8 of Pentacles reversed. And Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energy. And then you get more air placements with the 7 of Swords reversed. Yeah, it looks like, that you probably, got hit with something that really put you in a real negative spiral of some kind. Because if we look at this combination before we even get hit with, honesty and coming to terms with something, any kind of heartbreak would result in anything, causing you to just think, I'm just going to give up for now. I'm going to let go of everything, what have you, so forth, in any way. I mean, and that's kind of even like how I even suffered personally, it's like, of course, I had to escape the situation, but the thing is, I was mostly in hiding for so long that I really, didn't immediately, curb any kind of potential disasters. I didn't immediately run off, towards my parents and just thought, look at me, I just, it's like, I got these canines and these, it's like these nails, like, who am I? I'm sure, my parents would have probably, either, put me on a pyre and stuff like that, so I tried to avoid that. But here, I understand how something really, will hit you and pretty much just put you in a situation of thinking, why do I even bother? Well, it's like, but this could also be like maybe a blessing in disguise kind of moment that, especially that took place in the past, and then you pretty much just think, okay, well, maybe this situation had to happen in other ways. And it's kind of like the silver linings kind of blessings in other ways where, you pretty much had to maybe deal with some kind of sacrifice of some kind or having to let go of something so you knew something way better around the corner was waiting for you. Wow. But I never like seeing the 3 of Swords. Though in current times you get 2 of Swords reversed, Empress, Virgo energy, and then the Page of Swords reversed. Okay, you know what I'm kind of getting here? Is, it's like, I want to first look at these two. Because maybe, by coming to terms with something, this is kind of like the silver lining when you knew, and that something, way better was around a corner waiting for you in other ways. Because, especially with the 2 of Swords reversed, it's kind of like this thinking, I know where to go from here. I mean, and that's what I love is, it's like sometimes, when you pretty much are faced with some kind of like painful situation, that still your conscience, your subconscious, your mind, your internal voice is pretty much still, guiding you towards any kind of path away from that whole heartbreak for that matter. And this path was guiding you towards this very beautiful, abundant fertility, and of course, this new beginnings of some kind. But of course, yeah, you got a wonderful, beautiful, and I love the fact that this was in the center of the entire read. But yet you get hit with not having this outgoingness about you afterwards. Maybe you don't have to like travel or relocate or what have you and so forth in other ways. Because, the thing is maybe this is kind of like, one of your beautiful final goals in current times for that matter. And maybe you just think, I don't need to do anything else, afterwards in other ways. Because when we look at the future, the Sun, Leo energy, I'm not allowed to show, but it came upright. 6 of Swords, heading off towards a different direction. And then you have Patience waiting for this new beautiful offering with the Knight of Pentacles upright. And that's kind of what I'm kind of getting for today's reading, is it's sort of like a silver lining kind of positive. Side. Because the thing is the general card is definitely this very beautiful grand celebratory occasion that's more or less, as a general theme for that matter. But here it just shows that you're going to have so much confidence and you're taking off. You're pretty much just thinking, I'm going to leave that heartbreak situation behind. Maybe you had to break, the whole contract deal, and maybe that's what put you in a situation of thinking, oh goodness, why did that have to happen? or maybe anything that more or less contributed to that Three of Swords that just puts you in a different mindset, with more confidence and heading off towards a different direction of thinking, I'm going to be waiting for this very beautiful new beginning, this offering, this financial pinnacle that's heading towards me. And this, but yeah, this could also be you waiting for your upcoming paycheck as well. But let's do some clarification. Three of Swords, you got Seven of Wands. And Seven of Wands is being incredibly loyal. So the thing is, you probably got hit with some kind of heartbreak. But the thing is, you pretty much just remained, just kind of in this real, defensive mindset of thinking, okay, it's like sometimes, when you're being hit with something, well, some people, they just kind of still cling on to it and to think, no, I can't let it, we'll finish off like this. There has to be an alternative ending for me. There has to be something, way different around the corner for me. And that's what the Seven of Wands is. It's a very, strong loyalties kind of card. Maybe you just had your first breakup of some kind, but yet you pretty much still think, no, I still, feel this beautiful, strong connection between the two of us in other ways. So here it's pretty much just saying, no, I can't let this, situation go right now. Because even though you got hit with the Eight of Pentacles of not having much motivation or determination, you are incredibly committed with the Hierophant. And that's a very passionate mindset. Is, it's like sometimes, it's like thinking, okay, it's like, but this could also be like a major turnaround as well. Maybe, it's like this could be definitely an alternative offering being placed for you, in front of you. Maybe, yeah, you were pretty much being offered an alternative job, maybe within the same facility or building, of thinking, well, you're just not cut out for this, but we have something way better for you. And this is like maybe a potential alternative offering that was being placed in front of you as well. Because for the Seven of Swords, kind of coming to terms with this whole big, situation and stuff, you get the Two of Wands. So maybe this alternative offering, that was being presented with you, kind of, cause you to think, you know what, I'm going to try something way different. And sometimes, well, you don't always have to be accepting other people or even the same person's, alternative offering, thinking to say, well, we just don't think you're good enough for this, but we have something way better, we'll, present it to you. And if you really think, well, I really don't see anything, coming from that new offering and stuff like that, here you are pretty much just saying, I'm going to take off and head off towards a different direction. And maybe, even, relocating to different, building, facility, country, city, and stuff like that. Mostly also it's for the best in that ways. And maybe that's why, maybe you got hit with like maybe, well, some kind of a job situation, that really put you in a real heartbreaking moment for that matter. But here you're finally taking action, and I love to see that. Because for Two of Swords reversed, you get Two of Pentacles. So exactly, this big change or transition. It seems like that the word transition is kind of like this week's main key theme for, I think, all zodiacs. Because here you know exactly where you're heading off towards, but you're managing your affairs and obligations in other ways as well. And, it's like, I love how the Two of Pentacles did come upright and not reversed, because reversed, it does mean that you feel overwhelmed about something, but upright, it's kind of like thinking, okay, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. With any kind of transition, whether it's like relocating to any kind of new venue, area for that matter, it requires that you pretty much have to also prioritize your affairs as well. Because welcome to new beginnings, fertility, and abundance with the Nine of Grails of fulfillment. So this new transition of yours looks like it's going to actually benefit you in so many ways. And that's what I like to see is, when you pretty much just realize that, even, just changing course, trying an alternative route is definitely going to be putting you in a sense of happiness as well. Because especially with the Six of Wands, accentuating this very big acknowledgement for yourself, but of course a celebratory occasion for anything. But this is what I love to see, and especially that it's in the center of the entire read for today. This wonderful new beginning. I mean, you could also be having, your first baby, maybe another baby, and that's putting you in a very blissful, mindset as well, of thinking, wow, it's like all we had to do is just maybe just juggle a few extra things. We knew exactly which direction we were heading off towards, and here's this wonderful new blessing of whatever it may be. Because despite thinking, oh goodness, it's like I don't have this outgoingness right now, or I also feel maybe a bit of directionless, you get a wonderful, caring, loving, and supportive card from the Queen of Grails, also known as a Queen of Cups. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy, and that's what I love to see. is, it's like sometimes, your own senses and intuition, which is also like water, is mostly there to also support and back you up because, it's like the high priestess. We haven't come across the high priestess yet, but that is, a big water card, and that's kind of like your senses and intuition are pretty much guiding you and supporting you in other ways as well. And that's kind of also, what you have to more or less rely on is your own personal intuition, and especially thinking, okay, it's like sometimes you have to kind of tweak things. Maybe you have to kind of like, exchange your beautiful, vehicle, into like a family, vehicle for that matter and stuff like that. But that could also be what I also kind of get from this combination as well. Maybe some kind of sacrifice of some kind. Does that mean anything? Because in the future, the sun will shine for you, and then you get the 10 of girls. Happy home, happy earth, happy family, and abundance, and everything. It just looks incredibly beautiful coming up for you, and I just love this. I find this so very beautiful in so many ways. Is, the thing is with any kind of sacrifice, you would hope that it would actually, will end up in a positive ending, and it looks so far like it's really going to be in a positive ending for you because, confidence, strength, city from a Leo card, and of course you have Leo, placements, maybe your current your spouse, companion, partner, whoever it may be, is a Leo. I mean, I know how strong, Leos and Geminis can be as well. But here it just looks like that there's also a sense of clarity. Now the sun is finally shining for you. Everything is just, working out for you because of this very beautiful moment coming up. And then with the Six of Swords, you get the Six of Swords again. Wonderful. You're finally, heading off towards, a wonderful, blissful new beginning. Because even though you do get the Knight of Pentacles in the end, you get the Empress again. So I actually see maybe that you're going to be actually having, some more, fledglings coming up, or at least, this new beginning, this blissful, blessing of some kind. I mean, it's like with that sense of clarity, it's more or less maybe you have to relocate to a bigger home for that matter. Maybe you have to renovate. Maybe you have to do anything what it takes. But here it's just heading off towards a wonderful, beautiful, path, and it's, guiding you towards this wonderful, beautiful new beginning of the Empress. And of course, there's slow but yet certain movement in your favor coming up in the future. And it's like how that saying goes, slow and steady wins the race. As long as you pretty much keep at it like you're rehearsing for this big show or you're doing any kind of practice for the final game and stuff like that. This is what I'm mostly seeing is slow and steady will result in a wonderful new beginning in the future for you. Fabulous. Because your special vampire card says Chariot, Cancer energy. So I see you pretty much as boarding this wonderful, beautiful chariot. You have so much passion. You have so much determination, inspiration because of this very beautiful, positive outcome. And this is also like accentuating from this wonderful celebratory occasion that's coming up. And of course, any kind of new beginning, blissful situation is pretty much putting you in a situation of thinking, wow, everything is just flowing and going according to plan in that way. And I love to see that because, if you even get a chance to watch one of my previous videos about the history of Elizabeth Bathory and of course about blood, as long as blood is flowing and stuff like that, it means there's movement and development, healing, but it means that something is working out. And that, goes the same for the chariot as well. As long as the chariot is moving, like your personal vehicle is moving, it means it's working, you've got no problems and stuff like that. So I love to see that. So Oracle says reason, listen to advice, think clearly, and intellect. Just like with the High Priestess, is with any kind of like transition for your, for any kind of sake for that matter, is always, listen to advice. You could always ask other people, think clearly, like with even, the beautiful, like any kind of like new beginnings for that matter. But always allow your senses and intuition to be guiding you and to supporting you. And of course, you seem to, your intellect always comes into different forms. But I just see that this is a wonderful, beautiful, card to be accentuating with any kind of transition, any kind of growth, development, new beginnings and stuff like that, is to always listen to reason, your own senses and intuition to guide you. Wow. So I'm going to finish off with 3 yes or no answers. Please feel free to pause this video and think about the questions you want answered. For number 1, you get a yes with the 4 of Cups reversed. No, you get a no for number 2 with the King of Wands reversed. And then you actually get a yes with, no, actually, no, sorry about that. It comes across, no, because, reversed is yes, but upright, sorry about that. You get a no. So you get no, no, and yes for your 3 questions. So 1, 2, and 3. So yes, no, and no for these 3 questions if you have them. Okay, well, I'm going to have to leave it at this for now. If this reading resonated for any of my beautiful Geminis, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. And I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I love you guys incredibly. In a few days, I'm going back to love readings. So for now, I'm just doing general and love. I'm also open for personal readings. So if you're ever interested, let me know in the comment section below. And please feel free to choose any type of personal reading from this webpage that have the different types of prices for personal readings. Otherwise, I want to thank you again so much for joining me. I love you guys incredibly. I want to wish you all the best of luck on where this journey may take you. It just seems like, transition is the main theme for this week. But anyway, happy transition to anybody, and welcome to any kind of new beginnings in any way.